the room above the lights. Casinos are built on permission slips for bad decisions. You sign them with chips, with seconds, with the part of your face that tries not to change when the card turns. I work where the slips are stored. The eye in the sky, they call it, though the room isn't in the sky and the eye isn't singular. It's a low ceiling full of cameras and men and women who have learned how to separate luck from intent. My name is Elias. I'm a surveillance supervisor at the Orlia, a place designed to make midnight behave like religion. From my chair, I can follow a $5 chip from one end of the floor to the other, watch a dice mechanic palm heat, catch a dealer false shuffling for her boyfriend at third base. I've seen a woman propose marriage to a jackpot she thought meant fate. I've seen a senator lose 20 grand like he was tipping a valet. I tell myself I believe in probability. Then I met Jackie and forgot math. Jackie is our events director, which is a polite way of saying she can make a room obey. She knows where to place a lamp to make a diamond look humbler, how to hang a curtain so you forgive yourself for what you're about to do. We met over a frozen monitor 9 months ago, the baccarat pit looping the same 5 seconds because a teenager in AV had tripped a cable. She leaned into my console, took in the mess, and said, "You're either very good at your job or very bored by it." "Both," I said, and her laugh turned the entire floor into a smaller place. We were slow until we weren't. Coffee in the staff lounge. A walk on the service roof at 2 a.m. where the air tastes like neon and tired ocean. One night when the freight elevator got stuck between floors, and I said something about how the building breathes in systems, and she kissed me with the impatience of someone who has waited precisely enough. The first wrong note showed up as a name in an email thread that wasn't mine. I saw it because information respects curiosity more than privacy. Suite 54, private tasting, black room option, verify. The sender was our GM. The recipients were Jackie, a catering lead, and Luca Betrayal, a private equity prince with a chin like a threat. The black room isn't a secret, not to us. It's 2 sliding panels behind the high-limit salon that reveal a space dressed like a confession booth had a baby with a jazz bar. No cameras, no microphones. That's the point people pretend not to enjoy. Luca arrived on a Thursday with a woman whose laughter made me think of car doors you don't own. He lost $80,000 before dinner with the serenity of a man practicing religion. Jackie orchestrated his tasting, single malts old enough to vote, steak that required opinions. From my ceiling I watched her perform competence, which is erotic in a way everyone is too polite to admit. After midnight, Luca's guest left via the garage with a gift bag she didn't open. Luca stayed. Jackie stayed. The black room door slid, shut behind them like a lesson being delivered to a willing student. There's a border between suspicion and knowledge, and it's made of glass. Mine was a reflection in the high-limit bar's mirrored column. The black room panel left a half-inch seam that the column caught if the light hit correctly. I stepped to the console, adjusted camera 13 to 1 degree left, and the seam became a sliver of truth. A slice of table, a hand sliding a glass, Jackie's profile tilted, listening. Nothing illegal, everything dangerous. I told myself stories because men like me are trained to narrate reality until it behaves. She's working. He's testing a donor's mood disguised as a client's appetite. She's standing too close because rich men mistake distance for disrespect. Then it was Friday, then Saturday, and the email thread bloomed. Extend tasting 2 nights. No photography. Security aware, minimal presence. Surveillance reroute confirmed. I didn't reroute. I did what we do when we can't accept that light is sufficient. I went downstairs. Gamblers don't look up. Surveillance does. I moved like a man auditing carpet. The black room panel looked like any other wall unless you knew where to press. I stood at the bar and ordered water. Jackie stepped out with Luca at her shoulder. He handed her a key card, the red kind that opens doors staff doors don't, and he touched the small of her back like he was checking if gravity had left her alone. She didn't flinch. She slid the card into her jacket pocket like a debt. No, one was going to collect in public. She saw me. Her face didn't change, which is a skill I taught her the importance of without meaning to. She passed within a step. "Roof in 10, she said, not looking, and I swallowed an argument and nodded at nothing. On the roof, she lit a cigarette she doesn't actually smoke and held it between fingers that learn rooms. "Say it," she said. "You gave him access," I said. "I gave him the illusion of it," she said. "Those red cards only open what I tell them to open." "And the room without cameras?" I asked. "Has a mirror," she said. "Not yours, mine." "Like that makes it better." "It makes me less lost," she said. And for the first time since I've known her, she looked tired in a way that wasn't cosmetic. "Are you sleeping with him?" I asked. "Because we pretend you can build anything solid without that question set properly." She flicked ash off nothing. "No," she said. "I am standing too close to a man who only speaks one language, proximity. I'm translating." "What's the fee?" "Influence," she said. "And a check with too many zeros for the scholarship gala if he feels adored." "You don't have to stand that close to be believed," I said. "Not in your room," she said. "Out here, a woman's credibility is measured in centimeters." I hate that she was right. I hate that her rightness sounded like a dare. The second wrong note didn't have a sound. It had scent. She started wearing a cologne that wasn't hers. Luca's, I would learn later, not because I asked, because she said, "If I smell like him, he thinks he left the room owning it." She said it like an apology someone else owed me. The week of the gala, the building turned feral. Florists colonized the loading dock. Men in tuxedos rehearsed how to pretend not to care about their reflections. Luca's name appeared on the donor wall with his foundation's coat of arms, which is the philanthropic version of laundering. Jackie worked 20 hours a day, eyes bright, voice calm, mouth stubborn. I heard whispers, a bonus floated, a retreat promised, a condition implied. "Black Room Final Night" was scrawled on a staff board like an inside joke. I adjusted camera 13 again and the seam widened into a pencil with truth. Luca leaned in. Jackie held still. He reached for her wrist. She didn't pull away. I heard my own breath in my headset like an idiot. I didn't go upstairs that night. I went home and sat in the dark and tried to make lists. Lists are where men like me pretend control wears paper. She let herself in at 3. She sat on the floor with her back to my couch and said, without turning, "There's a room above the lights." "That's my line," I said. "This one doesn't have cameras," she said. "It has a window into the room with none. That's where I stood before I walked in. That's how I decided to walk out." She tilted her head back so it rested against my knee, mouth angled toward a ceiling that contains no mercy. "He asked." I said no. He asked again. I said no again with teeth. "And the third time." "He didn't get one," she said. "I left. He stayed with a bottle and a personality." "Why didn't you tell me you were building a theater?" I asked. "Because you would have turned on the lights and then we couldn't sell tickets," she said. Then, softer, "Because I wanted to know if I could do it without your eyes. It's ugly. It's also true." I slid my hand to her collarbone and felt the steady insistence of living. "Next time, let me wire the stage," I said, and she laughed, not happily but accurately. The gala was a pageant of pretend goodness. Dress whites, hostesses trained to hover, a pianist whose ego arrived in advance. Luca made his speech about opportunity like the word had never been used to con anyone. The check presentation happened under a chandelier that thinks it's a sun. Jackie glowed because she's good at pretending the building deserves to be believed in. I watched from the catwalk like the ghost of a better person. After the applause, the after was at the penthouse, a suite with a pool so still it looks like certainty until you touch it. Security was light because money thinks it's immune to consequences after dessert. I took the service stairs and ended in a corridor with a glass wall over the pool. If I moved 3 feet left, I could see the black room on a feed the penthouse keeps for vanity. You don't install a secret without a peephole. Luca had beaten us there. Jackie stepped inside without me. I stayed in the seam. He poured 2 drinks and said, "Tell me the truth about what it costs to be desired." He said it like philanthropy. Jackie set down the glass he offered. "More than you can afford," she said. His smile fell a single muscle width. He touched her wrist again and she took his fingers, moved them from her to the table, not gently. "I am not infrastructure for your appetite," she said. He laughed. People laugh when their map stops working. Then he made the mistake that let me sleep later. He stepped closer and said, "Everyone has a price. Tell me yours." "Humiliation," she said. "Yours." He blinked. He opened his mouth with a new plan in it. That's when I walked in. "I can trade you a cheaper lesson," I said, and he turned like I'd been written into the scene by a better playwright. "Who are you to be in this room?" he asked, not angry yet curious, the way men get before they decide which weapon to use. "The part of the casino that makes statistics out of men who think they invented outcomes," I said. "Leave now and you get to donate without bleeding. Stay and your face learns what a camera is for, even in rooms that allegedly don't have them." He looked at Jackie, verifying value. She nodded as if to say, "This is not a performance I can stage manage for you." He stood very still, decided not to wage war where the floor might surprise him, and left, muttering something about bored seats and taste. Jackie exhaled like she'd been underwater politely. I closed the door and the building seemed, for a second, to sit with us, siding with gravity. "Thank you," she said. "Don't make me your bouncer," I said, and I meant it not unkindly. "Let me be your witness." "I didn't want you to see me bargaining," she said. "I wanted to hand you the win clean." "You can't run a casino like that," I said, "or a life." We did something we never do. We went home. Not to my apartment with the drafts or hers with the tidy books, but to a motel off Highway 50 with a sign that thinks neon still wins arguments. We undressed without a script. She climbed onto me with a kind of relief that made me understand the cumulative weight of saying no to a powerful man all week and the cost of performing competence inside a dress that fits like a plan. We weren't tender first. We were necessary. Then we were tender in ways that made me hope the room would keep our sounds. After, she lay with her cheek on my chest and traced the scar I got at 19 when I tried to open a stuck window and the glass disagreed. "You always want to watch the whole floor," she said. "What if the part that matters is a table you can't see?" "Then we stand closer," I said, "and we ask the dealer to cut deeper." We adjusted the room above the lights the next week. Literally. We added 1 camera to the seam, not to record, just to show. In the black room, we installed a mirror that wasn't about us seeing them. It was about them seeing themselves. We wrote new language for the event contracts. No expectation of intimacy. No proximate coercion. No private tastings after midnight. We made the phrases ugly on purpose so no one could pretend they didn't know what they meant. Luca stopped coming for a month. Then he returned with a smaller mouth. He shook my hand like it hurt. He complimented the scholarship recipients in a way that almost sounded like he meant it. Jackie stood beside me like a woman who keeps a ledger with columns labeled cost and alive. Every so often he glances toward the black room and then at the mirror and then away, like a man who has learned where not to rehearse. We didn't become saints. The building still tells lies better than most of the city, and sometimes we need it to, because shame invents neediness, because bankruptcy deserves some velvet. But our rules changed shape. When a dealer flirted with a magician at third base and the shoes started to confess, we took her to the roof, told her about rooms that look like upgrades and aren't. When a politician's aide tried to pay a busboy to forget, we made forgetting expensive. At home, Jackie now leaves her shoes by the door like an apology she owed to no one. I turn my phone screen down because I'd rather miss proof than miss her. Sometimes I wake to find her looking at me in the dark with that event director look, like she could make the night better if I just give her a timeline. "Don't fix me," I say, and she smiles. "You're unfixable. I'm here to adjust the lights." We still go to the roof at 2 a.m. and listen to the city try to talk itself into believing its own luck. Sometimes we make love there, fast and hushed, the wind picking up the wrong sounds and letting us keep the right ones. Sometimes she bites my shoulder at the exact moment. A slot machine hits a minor jackpot below, and I feel, in my idiot animal brain, that we have cheated some system in a way the house is okay with. On my desk, there's a note she left on a cocktail napkin the night after Luca chose to be boring. It says just, "The camera didn't save us. We did." I look at it when the floor's noise feels like weather I can't predict. It reminds me that probability is not mercy. Mercy is the rule you write for yourself when the card turns and your face wants to change. The Oralia will always invite people to try on worse versions of themselves. That's our revenue model. But now, above the lights in the room where I sit with a ceiling full of witnesses, we keep one monitor on a loop of something else. The roof, empty, wind pushing against nothing. We watch it when the jackpots lie or the dice insult statistics. We watch it and remember that tonight is just a night, not a prophecy. Then I go downstairs, find Jackie in whatever room the building is making true, and stand close enough that centimeters no longer matter. And we tell the truth with our mouths and sometimes with our hands, and the house doesn't mind. The house knows we'll be back at our posts before dawn, honest enough for the morning.